Yo,
What's up?
that's my seat.
What are
I'm
you talking
sitting
about?
here today.
Are you
You're
serious?
sitting over there, yeah?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's go. Come on.
Okay. Wow. Have a baby and come back
Yeah.
on some new shit, huh?
All right. Some new shit.
Wow. All right.
All right, I'm in the good seat now.
Spread good, baby.
Welcome to the Spread Good podcast. I am Nick, Mr. Celebrate Life, if you know me, and I am here with my good friend, my guy Brody.
What's up, man?
What up? How you doing?
I'm doing good, but see, there's a little,
Yeah, it's kind of
little
weird.
switch up.
So we've traded places today. If you've noticed, if you've watched our podcast before, if you've followed us, usually Brody's the one asking questions. I'm the one just making random comments. But today we're gonna ask you questions. We're gonna figure out who you are. Brody's a humble guy. He usually wants to spotlight everyone else, but today the spotlight's on you. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it, bro. Thank
There
you. Let's
go.
get it.
Before we get into it, we need you to go ahead, stop what you're doing, and like this episode. If we get to 100 likes, Brody will fight someone for charity, right?
Who am I gonna fight?
Yeah, whoever you want. You could fight Walter. You could fight Jake Paul, Isaiah Garza. Who knows?
Down.
All right. So who's your top choice?
Oh, wow. I don't know. Who would I fight for charity, right?
Yeah, for charity.
So no beef, but if it's for charity, Charlie Rocket,
Call him out.
Isaiah Garza.
Call him out.
I don't know. There's this new kid in Australia doing some things. Like it's
Oh,
Sizzo. It's Ozo. Man, I'm
Call them all out.
fucking up his name.
We're
but
fighting them.
wow, feels aggressive.
100 likes. Everyone like it. Tell your friends to like it. Once we get to 100 likes, Brody's fighting somebody for charity.
What about you? You gonna fight?
Nope. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. So also comment. The first 20 comments. What do you think, Walter? 20 comments? 20 comments. The first 20 comments, Spread Good is going to send you something special. So comment down below who you want Brody to fight. It could be anyone. He'll fight anyone. He'll fight Mike Tyson. He doesn't care.
Okay, I'm with it. Yeah, I mean, hey, if it's for charity, you know.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Lastly, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month. And we need you to subscribe and share with everyone. We have so much dope things happening in the future. We want you to follow it. So now let's get into the real reason why everyone is watching. Let's get into who Brody is. But before that, let's do a little cheers.
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 Celebrate life. Spread good.
Celebrate life.
That's good.
So, Brody,
What's up, man?
the important questions. Who are you? Where are you from? Is your real name even Brody?
Wow, this is just going all in, huh? Okay. Well, yes. So I was born at Stanford Hospital. My family actually put me in a little cap and gown at Stanford. You know,
Nice.
I'm a big fucking letdown because did not go to Stanford. And anyways, so I was born there, grew up in Sacramento, a suburb called Rockland, California. We talked about it briefly. And then, yeah, I've been here in LA, Orange County for the last 7-8 years. It's been a wild ride.
Nice. What brought you over here?
Man, to be honest, I wanted to be an actor, you know, musician, do the whole LA thing. I think I still have that dream, to be honest.
You do?
Yeah, man. You know, I mean, I
Keep
think that's
going for it.
why we do this, right? We always find ways to be creative and engaging and just entertain people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what about the question of, is Brody even your real name?
Wow. We're really going to do this right now. huh?
Yep.
So, no, it is not. I made that name up. And the way I made it is my real. Are we going to say my real name?
You don't have to.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to say my real name. I'll say my real name. My real name is Brandon Nicholas Odian. And so when I became a musician when I was 19, I kind of wanted to keep my personal life separate. So I was like, let me make an incognito name. And first, I called myself Brody Jones. I think because Mike Jones. I don't
Nice.
know. Kept that on Facebook for like 2 weeks, and I was like, I ain't feeling it. So then I really thought about it. Brandon Odian, Brody, Nicholas is the middle name, Brody Nicholas. And so that was my stage name for the music. And then once I started the other businesses, the charity, kind of just stuck. And here we are, Brody Nicholas, 10, 11 years later.
Nice. And I think when I first met you, it was through a mutual friend. I really wanted to be involved in a bigger cause. And the first person he thought of was you. And he said, "Oh, my boy Odie." I was like, who's Odie?
Yeah, my baseball coach used to call me that.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so,
So
yeah.
when I met you, I thought your real name was Brody and your nickname was Odie, but I guess that's not your real name.
Yeah, Odie's like two people in my whole life have ever called me that.
Yeah.
And then the real ones know Brandon, and then obviously Brody is who most of the world knows.
Yeah. So when I first met you, it was because you had just started a nonprofit. I think a few
Yep.
years before I met you. So tell us why you started a nonprofit. What was the story behind that, and what was your goal at the time?
The goal was just to help one person, and show the impact of it. While I was making music, I'd see this kid outside our front yard every day playing basketball. And one day the kid wasn't out there anymore. And, long story short, I found out this kid got leukemia and was living in the hospital. And I just remembered, even though I wasn't super close to this kid, how much it affected me, because I just thought about all the choices I had. I could be an actor, a musician, accountant, a drug dealer, anything I wanted to be. And all this kid wanted to do was play basketball, and they couldn't anymore because they lived in a hospital with cancer. So I had no idea what I was doing, but I started selling these wooden bracelets at all my shows with my friends. We'd just run around town with our guitars and raise money for this kid next door. Again, no expectations of it. I remember we made the Facebook page, and the whole concept, it was called One at a Time, to help just one child at a time. And to be honest, that was the only child we were connected to. And so when we helped that kid, it not only changed their family's life, but it changed my life. It changed all the people's lives that were a part of this campaign. And we were like, yo, let's sponsor another kid and another kid. And it just slowly kept growing into, what we know of today is Campaign One at a Time. And we've helped kids all over the country and beyond.
Nice. So the kid was in your hometown in Rockland?
Yeah, in Rockland, my next door neighbor.
Nice. How old was the kid?
Sam was 14 at the time. 14. So tough time to just be a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're growing up, you're learning about yourself, and to get hit with cancer, it was just it was rough. It was rough.
So what did you guys actually make happen for her?
So at the time, we raised the money to, I actually thought like, oh, let's get Sam a Nintendo Wii. I was thinking we could raise like $250. We raised $2,600. And with that money, we fulfilled 3 of Sam's dreams. We taught Sam how to play the drums. That was one of the things they really wanted to do. So my drummer at the time gave Sam lifelong lessons. He ended up moving to North Carolina, but they lasted for like 2 years. And then we also got Sam a drum kit, an acoustic kit, and an electric kit. And then the other thing was Sam really wanted to ride a bike again like a normal kid. So because Sam had gotten a stroke, had dealt with the cancer, so many different things, Sam didn't have the leg muscles anymore to even really walk. So we got Sam a trike. And by riding that trike every day, it really built Sam's muscles up and gave Sam the confidence to get back out there on that bike. And the last thing was Sam wanted to swim in the pool with their friends to feel normal. And because Sam had a port in, they couldn't get in the water. So what we did is we bought Sam some rash guards. So that summer, Sam was able to get in the pool with their friends and be a normal kid.
That's awesome. That is amazing. And I think you are still in touch with Sam today, right?
Yeah. We're still Instagram friends. I actually talked to Sam's mom last week. It was Kimberly's birthday. So happy belated birthday, Kimberly.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. So yeah, we keep in touch, and my family actually doesn't live in that neighborhood anymore, but again, we just kind of built that family community, and we kept in touch all these years.
Yeah, that's amazing. And did you, I'm not sure if it was Sam, but was she on stage with you?
We did start a band, with 3 cancer patients. It was Sam, Emily, and Alex, and we played a pregame show at the Kings.
Oh, nice.
Sacramento Kings game. So yeah, an arena show. So not bad for the first time ever getting out there. And you're right, I forgot. Sam did play 2 shows with me. Sam came up and guest drummed two acts, so it was really cool.
Nice. I mean, you don't really like to talk about it, but you were a musician.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of music did you make?
Pop, reggae, hip hop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you ever miss it?
All the time. All the time. When I left music to pursue the charity full time, I realized music really wasn't my passion. My passion was people. And so through the charity, I was still able to entertain, engage, travel, do all these different things. But I still found myself, especially the last couple of years, writing again, playing again, and just missing the hustle and bustle of it all. Just reaching for something, being creative, surrounding myself around other creative people, traveling, touring. Yeah, it's a whole vibe. was a whole vibe for sure.
And you worked with some big artists, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played shows with quite a few different people. A lot in the Sacramento area, and then, like I said, I did a little West Coast touring down to Arizona, San Diego, things like that. But yeah, I played with the Green. I don't know if you know the frat rappers back in the day, Chitty Bang, and then I played the inaugural Cali Roots Dry Diggins Festival with Dirty Heads, Stick Figure. Yeah, it was a wild ride.
I've heard of the festivals that you played.
Yeah.
They're pretty fun, right?
From what I remember. Yeah. I went a little too hard that last year I was making music, but it was a good time. It was a good time.
Nice. So 4 years ago, after I had met you, we were working, or I was actually donating to the nonprofit. And we kept in touch, but we got closer and closer. And then you reached out and wanted to start something called the Spread Good Squad. You reached out to me, wanted to know if I wanted to be a part of it, wanted to invest in it. So tell people about the vision of the Spread Good Squad, why you wanted to start it, and how that all came about.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been 5 years now. 4 years since Spread Good Squad, but 5 years ago, I moved to Orange County from LA to live with my girlfriend, Katie, so she could finish her degree at Cal State Fullerton. And I was thinking we'd just live in Orange County for like a year. Here we are 5 years later, loving it, by the way. But anyways, Katie would go to school all day and then she would have an internship. So Katie would go to school all day and then she would have an internship in Newport. So she was gone like 12 hours a day. And at the time, before we had all this, the nonprofit was just run out of my apartment. We had no office, we had no warehouse, nothing. So I was essentially a stay-at-home boyfriend. So I would work on the charity and it just wasn't that big at the time. So I was just making calls. Again, we're sponsoring one kid every couple months. There wasn't much going on. So I started watching TV. HGTV, to be honest. And so I'm watching all these like home renovation shows and I'm like diving into MTV and watching these reality shows. And then it just hit me one day at like 3 p.m. I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, there's no reality show about a guy or a group of guys or people that go around the world and spread good. And I just thought about all the things that we were doing with the charity and how cool it'd be if we could like document this and inspire other people to spread good in their local communities and beyond. So that's when I called you. I called a couple other friends, Walter and Saul. We were working on a TV show part-time. I was working part-time. They were working full-time on this TV show in LA. And I was like, yo, you guys want to start this production company with me and shoot our own show? And we got the investment from you and another friend and we hit the ground running.
Nice. Yeah, I remember those first meetings. It was so exciting. You guys were going on a big trip. And I know Walter joined you on that trip. You guys went to the Philippines.
Yep.
And I think most of the first season's episodes were on the Philippines.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Just huge culture shock. Even though I'm Filipino, I'd never been to the Philippines before. And so going over there and experiencing that lifestyle was just, it changed my life. The perspective of, seeing a kid who has cancer, it's so hard to witness that. Anybody going through a life-threatening illness. But to have a life-threatening illness and live in the Philippines and be low income, that's a whole other thing. Like we were visiting kids where they didn't even have basic resources like medicine and milk and just to be able to nourish themselves to get better. And Walter and I actually went to Awake, a little girl that we were looking forward to meeting, Candace. We had gotten her all these gifts, and because every kid that we were sponsoring out there was very catered, very specific to their needs and their wants. And we had all these items for them, all the support for their family. And a couple of days before we got there, Candace passed away. So it went from going to the Philippines to play with this kid to going to the Philippines and going to a wake and a funeral. And it was really heavy, especially to see how funerals are done in the Philippines. Just the whole layout is completely different. They have what they call condos. So it's like a big wall and they put the bodies into the wall and then put the cement over it. And some of the areas, some of the grave sites into the wall, they don't have a plaque. They just have like a carving with a branch, like the name, right? And I asked why, and it's because people can't even afford tombstones. So some of these bodies are in these condos with really no note, really no tile to represent them. So that was one thing that we did for Candace's family before we left, is we rallied up the money from our following and paid for a stone to represent Candace on her gravesite condo.
Nice. I haven't even heard that story.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I know you also met a few kids who like you kept in touch with even until this day, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, one of them is Rianne. I met Rianne. We rented out a McDonald's during that trip, and she was going through full treatment. So she was fully masked up, going through it. And we took a selfie together. And it was so cool to, we did this with a lot of kids, right? But we really had this cool connection. And then 6 months later, I came back after we shot that season out to the Philippines, and we were visiting kids in their provinces this time. And I had no idea, let alone my team, had no idea that Rianne was one of the kids on the list. So when we got to this kid's house, it was the same kid that we'd seen 6 months ago. And now she looked different. She was getting better, and she was so excited. We got her and her family all these gifts and had a bunch of fun with them. And it gets crazier. Last year, Katie and I went for Thanksgiving to the Philippines, and we rented out another McDonald's, had like 100 families come out. Rianne and her family came out. Now she's fully cancer-free, has super long hair, and she made me this painting. And it's actually hanging in our office right now. And her mom printed a picture of us years ago when I first met them. And it's just so cool to be able to keep in touch with people across the world.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think that's what I love about what we do with the nonprofit, and hopefully even more with Spread Good, is we build these personal relationships. And, I know that one sticks out to you, but are there any other personal relationships that you made in the Philippines or otherwise that really stick out to you?
So not only are we helping people with life-threatening illnesses out in the Philippines, we actually employ people out there as well. So we've got Tanya out there, we've got Ren, we've got a few actually new team members out there as well. So super exciting. And just being able to, again, give back to people going through life-threatening illnesses, but also give people like job opportunities and opportunities to work here in America. I just think it's such a cool thing, and it really lights a fire in me. As far as other relationships that we've had through the nonprofit, I mean, it's just a roster on a roster. There's so many people. One that really sticks out to me, though, is a 17-year-old that we sponsored a few years back called Cameron. And his dream was to start his own nonprofit so he could help the homeless in his community. And that one really stuck out to me because a lot of kids, they dream for a trip to Disney World or a cruise or a playset, which are all great, valid, awesome things. And this kid could have done the same. He could have asked for anything he wanted, and he asked if we could help him start his nonprofit. So we went out there and we did that. We went and volunteered at his nonprofit to meet the people facing homelessness that he helped, saw them getting haircuts, give them food, give them clothes. And Cameron ended up passing away a few years back. And 2 weeks before he passed away, his paperwork went through. And so before he passed away, he got to be the CEO of Love Thy Neighbor. And to this day, his family still keeps it running and going, and we collaborate with them and help as much as we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love Thy Neighbor. I've seen them around. I think I've met his parents.
Yeah.
At a gala. But was he the kid that when he first met you, he was so excited to meet you?
Yeah.
How did that feel?
It was awesome because what we were doing is we were hosting a toy drive in Roseville, so neighboring town to where I'm from. And Cameron and his family are from Stockton, about an hour away. And Cameron was 17 at the time, but a lot of the toys were really geared towards like the 6, 7, 8-year-olds, right? And Cameron brought his family out to this event we were having, not to get gifts for himself. He was so excited he got gifts for a bunch of his siblings. But he was so excited because he wanted to meet me to pick my brain about how do you start a nonprofit. And I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, that must have felt amazing. If anyone knows you and wants to meet you, especially a kid now.
So the cool thing about Cameron is when we were having that toy drive, he didn't come out there to get gifts for himself. He rallied his family to come out there to get gifts for his siblings. And then the biggest reason was to meet me, to ask me, how did I start my nonprofit, and pick my brain, because he heard there was this kid from NorCal that started a nonprofit and he wanted to start his own too. And I just thought that was so cool that that's just how selfless that kid was. Is he came all the way out to our event, again, not to benefit himself with gifts, but with knowledge. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's amazing. And I think we have an episode of Cameron and Love Thy Neighbor from season 1.
Yep, check it out right here.
Was he cutting people's hair? Or?
Yeah. So that's what his nonprofit was based on, is him and his mom and really his whole family would go out and they would give haircuts to the homeless. And it's such a big deal because even though it seems like such a small act of kindness, giving people haircuts, it gives them an opportunity to get the confidence to go get their picture for their ID taken. It gives them the confidence to go apply for a job. It gives them the confidence to just be out in society and feel like they get a fresh start. So I love what Love Thy Neighbor does. I love that they're still around, and it all started with Cameron's vision.
Yeah, and I know that was one of the most watched episodes. Like a lot of people, when they watch that episode, they fall in love with Spread Good Squad and Cameron and Love Thy Neighbor. So that's awesome. So is there any other Spread Good moments that you could think of from season 1 that really stick out to you?
I think one that, it's not really, it wasn't really about like helping someone, but it was the first gala we ever had. And, I think we raised like 10,000, 13,000. I don't know. At the time, it was a lot of money. And my sister's now fiance, Cage, was involved with the charity. And we played a prank on him, telling him we only raised like a few $100s the whole night. And you guys got to check this clip out on YouTube. It's hilarious. We got all riled up. We had like 20 of us partying in the green room. And we were like telling him, we were talking to each other like, hey, when Cage comes back in, we have to just get super excited about raising a few $100s. And so everybody was hyped about raising a few hundred. And you just see this look of confusion in Cage's face. But at the same time, he was like trying to go along with it and be excited. And it was hilarious when he finally figured it out.
Yeah.
Check that out.
I have seen that episode.
Yeah,
Cage is
he's a character.
You guys like running pranks on him.
Oh yeah, every day. I'm seeing it this weekend. I'm probably pranking this weekend. So
Nice. All right, so we're gonna ask you some random questions now.
okay.
So you got to drink some more.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers. Walter, are you drinking? All right. So this is a random question. If you could tell 18-year-old Brody one thing, what would that be?
Do you?
Do you? What does that mean?
I don't know. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I just feel like we talked about this in the last episode with Bree. Is my core, my soul is giving back and helping people and spreading good. Like it's just been such a big part of my life. But I think it goes back to that whole analogy or that example that they say on the flights is like put your air mask on first. And I feel like I wish I would have done a better job at that when I was younger. Is maybe pursuing my music just a little further. Right? Maybe building my for-profit business is just a little longer before I started the nonprofit. And yeah, that's kind of the advice I would give myself, but also just trust the process and enjoy the journey. I feel like, so much of my life has been a grind, but then I look at like all the shit we've done, all the shit we have. It's like, man, this is a good life. We just have to really slow down and realize that. So a few things I would tell 18-year-old Brody.
Nice. I mean, we talk about the nonprofit a lot. We talk about Spread Good. What are the biggest challenges that you've had it's been 9 years, right? For the nonprofit. What are the biggest challenges?
I think one is just articulating that spreading good, giving back, it costs money. People love to see the videos of the kids smiling at Disney World or us flying out to bring Disney World to a kid that can't travel. Like that's all real and it's all authentic and it's all amazing, but there's a bill attached to it. There's a name attached to that bill. And it's just a lot of pressure as the expectations have risen. The demand has risen along with that. And it's just hard to inspire and motivate, but at the same time tell people, be vulnerable. Like we need help to do this. Like we don't have big grants. We don't have grandma and grandpas that are funding everything. Like this is for the people, by the people. And that's just been really tough to get across.
Yeah. Yeah. And with Spread Good, we've done season 1 a couple years ago. We've done other things highlighting other organizations, but now we're doing the podcast. What inspired this?
So I just wanted to humanize spreading good and giving back. I feel like so many people look at maybe even us, right? And it's like, oh, those are like the charity guys. That's all they do. That's all they are. And for me, as a lot of you know, we've opened up more on this podcast. I like to party. I like to travel. I like to have a good time. And I think that's okay. Me and Walter were talking about it the other day when we were having a producing meeting, is like spreading good isn't about being perfect. It's about spreading good, but you could be other things too. You could like crazy things. You could do crazy things. As long as you have good in your heart and you have good intentions, like that's what it's about. So I really wanted to start this podcast to not only have therapy sessions for myself every episode, but I wanted to bring guests on, friends on that spread good in different ways and show that they're humans too.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 6, 7 different guests. We're growing, and I think it's beautiful how many different people have been on the podcast and how many different people we're going to get on the podcast. But what do you see yourself doing with Spread Good for the next year?
That's a good question. I think running this podcast up as much as possible, just getting interesting guests, again, that are spreading good through charity, through donating, through giving back, but also other ways, spreading awareness on things, doing it through their channel. Like we've already had that with a couple guests that may not be like, their channel might not be like kindness, but they really are helping people and spreading good. And I just think there's so many avenues to that. I feel like a lot of people feel like to spread good, you have to make $1 million donation or you have to have 1 million followers. And I just want to show people you don't. And I feel like there's so many people out there that understand that concept. And if we could keep sharing that, it's a snowball effect. I want to get back on the road. I know that you and I, over the last few years, we've traveled a ton, helping people, spreading good, making dreams come true. And I know the last few months we've kind of cut back to really figure out the process, get some more money in the bank and just make it happen. And I think that's what I'm really excited for, is to get back on the road and spread good to people that we wouldn't meet in our everyday life. Like I love going out to those small Indiana towns and Iowa and all those little towns that might not be a Miami, a San Francisco, a New York, but we always find the best people. And I'm excited to keep doing that.
Yeah. So a year from now, what do you want to be doing with Spread Good? Like where do you want to be? Do you want to be in New York, Times Square?
No, I just want to be out there, man. I want our channel to be able to be a platform to highlight people that are spreading good. I want people to really believe in it. I want people to get to know us as humans. Again, I don't really want people to just know us as a brand. I want people to like know who we are and really fuck with that. And so, yeah, I would love a year from now if we had a distribution deal with like a Netflix or a Hulu or even a Facebook or YouTube where we could take our show like we did in season 1 and go do that full time. Travel, party, spread good, and change lives. And that's the vision for me. What about you?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me with One at a Time and even Spread Good is I always wanted to do things to inspire people, right? And I think even though we're not at that level yet, we are inspiring a lot of people. I was at a party this past weekend and a few of my friends who I haven't seen in a while because I have a lot of babies, they were talking about how they watch every episode and they love it and it's inspired them to do their thing.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, not everyone's going to go out there and share themselves doing small acts of kindness, but to know that we're inspiring people, I just want to keep doing this.
Same, man. And that's the thing is I know that both of us, right? We see other content, we see other creators that are just blowing up on some different shit. And like Bree and I talked about this on the last episode is like, man, even if we just touch one person, I know that sounds so cliche and obviously there's not a lot of monetization in one person every video, right? But like, I know that if we just stay true to what we do, stay authentic on the good we do, on the crazy we do, on everything that we do, just stay authentic. There are people out there just like us that want to see this content, that want to go out there, that need the motivation, the inspiration to go spread good. And if we could be that outlet for them, like it's a steady, slow grind, but it's steady.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this all the time whenever we're all in here. We inspire people. Your girl from Hungary. People want to be a part of this, right? And it's amazing. And this is all thanks to you. This is all thanks to you starting One at a Time. This is all thanks to you thinking of the Spread Good Squad, being a stay-at-home boyfriend and being bored and wanting to do something bigger. But yeah, I mean, I'm just thankful to you for being who you are. Thankful to everyone on the Spread Good Squad for being who you guys are. But I just love the fact that this all started from you wanting to help one person. And that's our goal, right?
Yeah.
Is to help one person every time. And it's like full circle.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And for me, I know you talked about at the beginning, I really do like shining the light on everybody else because I just feel like, I think the thing that drove me other than just helping people is I love sports growing up. And I just love being on a fucking team. Yeah, I don't know what it is. You think I'd get over it after 30. No, I just love being on a team. And so that's why like, I couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you. And I'm excited for our team to keep growing. I think that's a big goal for me and for us. I think in a year from now, I want 10 Spread Good Squad members that are traveling with us, that are buying in, that are just helping us spread the word. because man, it just I don't know, it's fired up.
Yeah, I'm happy. This is
Yeah.
awesome. This HQ is awesome. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
It's not. I'm not sweating over here.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna ask you some more random questions. You want some random questions?
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's send.
Who is your all-time celebrity crush?
Lizzie McGuire. Oh man. So as like a child or
All-time child, grown up.
just weird because everybody's old now, you know?
So are we.
back then, so as a kid, full transparency, the Olsen twins, I liked them so much that I cried when I found out they were a few years older than me because age was such a big deal back then, you know? And I was just like, I'm never going to be old enough for them. And I remember like I cried really hard and it was traumatic. I watched every movie. Lizzie McGuire was always a real one. And then
You and Walter are gonna have to fight for that one.
Walter's actually already met her.
Oh yeah.
And Jessica Simpson back in the day. But yeah, I think my biggest celebrity crush probably she's an Instagram influencer, fitness influencer, Katie Samant.
Oh.
So that's my biggest.
We need all these celebrity crushes on the podcast.
Yep. We got them on. Yeah, Katie's actually going to be coming soon to an episode. I think we were
Nice.
going to do one, right,
Yeah.
with Shell?
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah, I'm down.
all right,
Yep.
let's go.
Love languages.
Yep. And personality tests. We actually produced this I think a couple months ago, but then the baby and everything. So
Yep. Life.
ready to have the ladies on the podcast. And then Walter will be bringing possibly a +1 to the podcast as well.
A princess.
Coming soon.
So, I don't know if you've seen the news lately, but apparently aliens are visiting the planet. What do you think about that?
They ain't visiting the planet. They visiting Elon. It's just a partnership. It's all good. We good. Yeah.
Are you afraid of aliens?
No, not at all. Dab them up.
What if they're really hot women?
I'm already dating an Instagram influencer, so
answer.
I'm not
Good
looking.
answer.
Yeah.
All right.
What about you, Nick? What if they were hot women?
I mean, they're still aliens to me.
Yeah.
I have daughters. 2 of them.
Enough said.
All right. So, cheers. Down it.
Oh, all right.
So, what do you feel like is the biggest misconception about you?
That I have a full gas tank every day, every minute of every hour. Because it's just false. I feel like that part of me, is the issue, right? I'm always going, I'm always traveling. I was actually looking literally last night at midnight. I couldn't sleep and I was going through our camera roll of all the stuff that we've done. And a year ago from this month, bro, I like was working in LA, flew to San Francisco to be on a TV show, flew back, partied with you in Orange County with our old office, and then came back and made content. And it's just like, don't get me wrong, I live for that shit. Like, it's so fun, but it's like, man, like, I'm not always on like that, And I feel like some people expect me to be on. I was also looking at, like, that same weekend, I was at a blood drive for a cancer patient. And then a week later, I was at a pool party for another cancer patient. I was just, like, pulling up on everything everywhere. We were in Houston, then we were in Dallas, then we're back in Austin, and then we're back in California, then we're in Orlando. Like, the camera roll, I almost don't believe it. I was looking through everything that we've done. And again, I love it, but I feel like, man, my tank's not always full lately. And for the first time in my life, like I said, I've always been like a hustler, a go-getter. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not as quick as I once was. Maybe I'm getting fucking old. Damn it, this is
I
a
think
depressing
you're
ass
getting
podcast. But
I think one of the big misconceptions about us is a lot of people don't really believe that we're just doing good for the fact of doing good.
yep.
Through the nonprofit, I've met so many families who the moms and the kids are cool, but the dads are always like, who are these guys?
Right.
Right? And then we meet them and then they become our best friends.
Oh,
but
dude, every
always
time.
they look at us like, what are these they think we're young. What are these young guys doing? They're just raising money for my children.
Yeah, hanging out with my wife
Yeah,
when
this
I'm at
doesn't
work.
make
This
sense,
is
yeah.
weird. Yeah, no, we've had dads pull us aside and like talk to us. And then like a month later, like, you guys are the dopest people ever, bro. Like, and we like, again, we're actually best friends with a lot of these guys now, which is kind of comical.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but that is a big misconception.
Yeah, I feel like going back to your point, a lot of people see that you're always on, you're always visiting kids, you're always talking to kids or families, and they always expect that. And it's hard, I think, for anyone when you're expected to do something all the time.
Yep.
And it's a big change for you.
For sure. And for me personally, like I really have been getting a lot of support from people lately, just like, slow down, do you go on vacation? But then I really just feel like I'm just a letdown, because like some of these families have gotten so used to me being that guy or that person, or even social media expects this certain thing from me. And like, it's like, bro, sometimes I just want to like go kick it on the beach. I'm actually thinking about doing that for a few weeks this month.
Nice.
Peep the Instagram, I might be gone. I've been literally like just debating just taking a break, like, and just like being,
Yeah.
and like not producing, not providing, not creating, just being. But
I mean, you've been going hard for 10 years.
yeah, it's nuts.
You should make some music. Have another music video like the one right here.
Wild, good times. I'm
But
about it though.
I don't have any other questions.
Nah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And like, so I guess I'll switch it back on you real quick. What motivates you after the last few years to keep doing what we're doing? Got him.
So I don't know how I'm going to say this, but I've done a lot of different things. I've seen success in different things, and it's not fulfilling the way this is, the way the nonprofit is. The nonprofit is fulfilling, but the fact that people expect so much out of you is kind of draining. So to me, this is fulfilling every day, some kind of happiness for me. And, I just had my baby boy 10 days ago. I have my 2 daughters. Like, for them to see me doing this as my living, I mean, I can't ask for anything better, right? And I think I saw online a couple days ago, I don't know if I read it, but people are forgotten 3 generations after they're living.
Wow.
So I think the meme said, you're forgotten 3 generations after you're living, so don't do anything. And I was like, oh, well, for me, that makes me want to do something. I want to be remembered by my great-great-grandchildren in some way, whether it's even this podcast and I'm over here drinking. They might judge me, but hey, it's something. Like, I want to do this. I want to continue doing this. I want to continue growing this. And I believe in Spread. I believe in you. I believe in Walter. I believe in Jason, Saul, the whole team. We just need to keep pushing it.
I agree, man. I agree. I know we keep talking about like this is the year, like just looking at life and making it happen. And we're firing on all cylinders. And I think that's the other misconception is people, because we have all this stuff, all these things that like we're just rocking and rolling. It's like, no, we're still trying to build this channel. We're still trying to get to 1,000 subs. Just this podcast, it kind of hit me how much success we've had in the last month and a half, but it's been a fucking month and a half. Like, it's crazy because I just want it now. I feel like we've been grinding for 5 years. We need to do this. But it's like what I would tell 18-year-old Brody. The same thing I got to tell 32-year-old Brody. It's just like, enjoy the process, slow down. But what we also talk about is get better every single day, just a little bit.
Yep.
And I think that's really important because I feel like a lot of people in life can relate that 3 months, 4 months, 3 years can go by like that. And what I talked to a friend about a while back is like, just don't be in the same exact spot you were last year. And that's what really holds me accountable. It's like, man, I'm just not trying to be in this same spot. We could still have this headquarters, but it better have better air conditioning, nicer lights. I don't know. Like, we just have to keep leveling up.
Yeah. And I think ever since I met you, we've leveled up.
Every day.
Leveled up every year. If we think about this, in all honesty, last year we were at Biz House.
100 square foot.
Anything.
100 square foot rental.
All of this is dope. And I'm just, I just want people to realize this all came from you. This started from you. And so you better like this podcast.
Thank you, man. No, I appreciate it. Like I said, it's all about the team, all about the squad. But I will say it is crazy to me like we just built this shit from scratch in a couple months. And then like when we have guests over, they're like, they come in here, I'm like, what's up? Like I kind of, are you good? You know, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is just such a nice set. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is our everyday life now. And it's like, yeah, man.
We've had a few
Fired up.
people who've been on podcasts and they were like, whoa, this is nothing like I expected. And that's amazing. I mean, I just think, yeah, we're way closer to where we want to be.
Yep. We just got to keep
Everything,
showing up. And that's what we always talk about is a little better every day and keep showing up. Because there's good days, but there's bad days, but we have to just keep showing up and getting better. That's
Yep.
it. That's it.
Yeah. So, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna tell a little dad joke right now.
Oh boy.
When does a joke become a dad joke?
When you have kids?
When it becomes apparent.
I need a little sound effect. Yep. Yeah. Oh,
What?
that's crickets.
Crickets. Come on, Walter.
Walter with the crickets. Man, and be sure you smash the bell button.
Smash the bell button. Like. We need 100 likes so he can fight Jake Paul. He can fight whoever he wants to fight.
I love that.
Charlie Rocket. I seen Charlie Rocket's video the other day. He's trying to help 100 kids. We done that.
Yeah. So we should fight about it. Who did it better?
We should fight.
That's great. I mean, fuck it. Make it go
100
viral.
likes,
Yeah.
Comments.
Let's go.
Subscribe. Thank you.
And don't forget, take
Walter.
shots.
Get over here. Start over.
All right.
Hey everyone.
So we've got some great vlogs coming up. This is serious, actually.
Okay.
We have some great vlogs coming up that are featuring Walter. The lifestyle. We've been teasing Walter's personality on Instagram and YouTube, and we've gotten a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I think people really want to see crazy stuff from me.
So
It's gonna be great.
it's going to be great. Seriously, though, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel because, again, we have a really cool vlog coming out about Walter next month. It's going to be a fucking party. But until then, guys, take shots.
Talk shit.
That's pretty good.
Cheers. Later, guys.